Welcome to Coin Hunter UK. If you're holding a 1961D or 1967D nickel, you might be holding a hidden fortune without even knowing it. Today, I'm exposing the dark secrets and rare errors that make these specific coins legendary. But before the big reveal, hit that subscribe button now. You must watch until the final second, because the most shocking detail is saved for the very end. Have you ever held a plain, old 1961 Jefferson nickel in your hand and wondered if it holds a secret worth a fortune? Most people just look at the date and spend it, completely unaware of the hidden story and the fascinating mint errors hidden right in plain sight. Behind this coin lies a history shaped by Cold War tension, political milestones, and a design process filled with tiny variations that experts pay thousands of dollars for. But finding that exact, high-value coin isn't just about luck, it's about knowing exactly what to look for. In this video, we are going to reveal the exact connections from the coin's design to the market and show you the hidden marker that turns an ordinary nickel into a highly sought-after piece of numismatic history. Make sure you don't skip a single second of this video, because the detail that multiplies this coin's value will be revealed just before the end. The year 1961 was a watershed moment in both American and global history, defined by immense political transformation and geopolitical tension. On January 20, 1961, John F. Kennedy was inaugurated as the 35th President of the United States. At just 43 years old, he became the youngest man ever elected to the office, capturing the imagination of a generation with his iconic call to public service and a bold vision for the future. His administration began at the height of the Cold War, introducing an era marked by the space race, the escalation of the conflict in Vietnam, and deep anxieties over nuclear proliferation. Amidst this backdrop of rapid technological advancement and global uncertainty, the coins circulating in everyday pockets reflected a nation in transition. The 1961 Jefferson Nickel served as a quiet, tangible piece of this historic period, carried by millions of Americans who were witnessing a dramatic shift in the world's balance of power. During the early 1960s, the Cold War rivalry between the United States and the Soviet Union dominated global politics, with the space race emerging as the ultimate battleground for technological supremacy. In 1961, the Soviet Union shocked the world when cosmonaut Yuri Gagarin became the first human to journey into outer space aboard the Vostok 1 spacecraft on April 12, 1961. This monumental achievement intensified a deep sense of urgency and competition within the United States, prompting President Kennedy to announce the ambitious goal of landing a man on the moon before the decade was out. Simultaneously, the threat of nuclear conflict loomed large over everyday life. The shadow of the Cold War created genuine anxiety among the American public, leading to civil defense drills in schools and the construction of fallout shelters. In an era where the nation's survival and technological dominance were questioned daily, even the humble 5-cent coin in a citizen's pocket represented the stability and endurance of the American economy amidst global uncertainty. Amidst this era of rapid technological breakthroughs and high-stakes political tension, the everyday economy relied heavily on the stability of minor coinage for standard daily transactions. The Jefferson Nickel, valued at 5 cents, served as a crucial workhorse in the daily lives of millions of Americans during the early 1960s. Whether it was used to purchase a daily newspaper, pay for a ride on public transit, buy a cup of coffee, or operate public payphones and vending machines, this coin facilitated the microtransactions of a booming post-war consumer economy. While the space race and military tensions dominated the evening news, the familiar weight and value of the nickel in a citizen's pocket provided a sense of consistency and financial security in a rapidly transforming world. The journey of the 1961 Jefferson Nickel begins in 1938 with the artistic vision of German-American sculptor Felix Schlag. When the United States Mint held a national competition to replace the Buffalo nickel, Schlag submitted the winning design that perfectly captured the spirit of American democracy that he chose to feature the profile of Thomas Jefferson, the third President of the United States and the principal author of the Declaration of Independence, on the obverse. For the reverse, Schlag depicted Jefferson's iconic historic home, Monticello. This architectural choice was highly deliberate. Monticello was not just a home, but an architectural masterpiece and a symbol of American self-reliance and democratic enlightenment. By combining the likeness of a founding father with the image of his estate, Schlag designed a coin that served as a tangible, pocket-sized monument to the values of liberty and equality. The minting of this design in 1961 carried forward Schlag's original vision, preserving an enduring symbol of American history and democratic heritage that circulated through the hands of millions. The journey continues at the production phase, where the coin's origin tells a story of scarcity and technical variation. In 1961, the Jefferson Nickel was produced at two primary United States mint facilities, the Philadelphia Mint, which did not use a mint mark at the time, and the Denver Mint, which stamped coins with the letter D. Millions of these 5-cent coins rolled off the presses, but the true value lies in the subtle anomalies that occurred during the striking process. Because the minting dies were used continuously, small imperfections or variations began to emerge on the metal planchets. A highly sought-after anomaly for this era is the double die error, where the date, lettering, or profile appears duplicated due to a misalignment during the hubbing process. Additionally, die deterioration or strike doubling can obscure the steps of the Monticello building on the reverse side. For a 1961 D or a no-mark Philadelphia strike, the presence of these crisp, full steps or a recognizable error elevates the coin from a standard circulated piece to a highly valued collector's item that can command significant premiums in the numismatic market. The physical foundation of this everyday economy relies on a durable metallic composition of 75% copper and 25% nickel. During the early 1960s, fluctuations in global metal markets meant that the intrinsic value of the raw materials occasionally influenced the public's perception of coinage. However, this careful metallic blend ensured that the coin remained highly resilient and retained its utility. The strength of the composition allowed the nickel to withstand decades of heavy daily use in vending machines, cash registers, and public transit, maintaining its stability when it was needed most. Following the minting process, the coins were moved through the Federal Reserve System to begin their journey into the hands of the public. They were transported from the minting facilities to regional Federal Reserve banks, where they were then distributed to commercial banks, armored services, and local storefronts. This seamless supply network ensured that the nickel could pass from a bank teller's counter into a citizen's pocket, cementing its place as a reliable tool for the microtransactions of the era. What truly makes the 1961 Jefferson Nickel stand out to collectors is the presence of fascinating errors and striking anomalies from the production process. A highly sought-after defect is the double die error, where the date or lettering appears duplicated due to a misalignment of the coin dies during production. Another major factor is the clarity of the details on Monticello. If the strike is weak or the coin shows deterioration, the building steps become blurred. Conversely, finding a 1961 nickel with sharp, well-defined steps, known to collectors as full steps, FS, greatly increases its rarity and value. Furthermore, minor planchet errors or strike doubling on the reverse can elevate a standard circulated piece into a highly prized item for numismatists. When evaluating the market value of a 1961 Jefferson Nickel in average circulated condition, it generally trades near its standard face value or with a modest premium based on collector demand. However, the value increases substantially when the coin is found in pristine mint state (MS) condition, such as MS 65 or higher, where prices can range from thousands to several $1,000s for top-tier preserved examples. When specific production anomalies are present, the valuation multiplies significantly in the numismatic market. For instance, a 1961 Jefferson Nickel with a major double die obverse (DDO) error can reach values of up to $0.1 million to $0.5 million depending on the sharpness of the doubling and market demand. Similarly, specimens featuring the full steps (FS) designation on the reverse, where the architectural lines of Monticello are completely sharp and uninterrupted, are valued at approximately $0.05 million to $0.2 million in gem condition. Combining these distinct errors with exceptional preservation transforms an ordinary 5-cent coin into an asset worth a significant amount of money to serious collectors and investors. To sum up this incredible journey, we have seen how a simple 5-cent piece carries the weight of history, starting from the artistic vision of Felix Schlag, passing through the turbulent political and technological milestones of 1961, and eventually making its way from the mints into the hands of everyday citizens. It is a tangible piece of history that continues to hold hidden value for those who know exactly what to look for. But this 1961 Jefferson Nickel is just the beginning of the story. What other hidden treasures and rare errors might be hiding in your pocket right now? In our next video, we are going to dive into the world of even more rare and valuable coins, revealing the exact secrets and variations that collectors are desperately searching for. Make sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell, and leave a comment below with the date of your favorite coins so you don't miss out on our next big discovery. Friends, whenever we look at the coins in our pockets, we often think of them as just ordinary pieces of metal. But if you knew that behind this single coin lies a historical story connected to some of the biggest economic changes in the world, you would never discard or overlook your coin again. In today's video, we are going to connect every single link of this coin's journey, from the mind of its designer all the way to your pocket, and discover exactly why this 1976 nickel is not as ordinary as it seems. The year 1976 was a monumental milestone in United States history, as the nation celebrated its 200th anniversary of independence. The atmosphere across the country was one of immense patriotic pride, unity, and deep reflection on the nation's journey since 1776. To commemorate this historic bicentennial, the United States Mint sought a way to capture the patriotic spirit of the era in the hands of everyday citizens. While the quarter, half-dollar, and dollar received special commemorative reverse designs, the 1976 regular issue nickel served as a vital daily reminder of the celebration. The massive production of this coin ensured that every American family interacting with daily commerce felt connected to the anniversary, making the 1976 nickel not just standard currency, but a lasting keepsake of a defining moment in American history. Behind the celebratory facade of the bicentennial, the 1970s was a period defined by intense economic and political turbulence. The United States was navigating through a major energy crisis, rising inflation, and the lingering social pressures of the post-Vietnam War era. The purchasing power of coins was undergoing a drastic shift, and citizens were becoming increasingly aware of the value and utility of physical money in their daily lives. The nickel maintained its vital role in the economy despite these fluctuations, allowing people to purchase basic goods such as transit tokens and coffee. This economic tension made the coinage system a focal point for the public, sparking curiosity among citizens about how long the traditional value of their pocket change would endure. During a time when citizens were witnessing rapid inflation and economic change, the circulation of the 1976 nickel took on a profound cultural significance. Citizens began looking closely at their pocket change, discovering the intricate details of Thomas Jefferson's Monticello and the classical beauty of the obverse design. The coin became a tangible link between the people and the nation's historical legacy, creating a sense of wonder as people realized they were carrying a piece of the bicentennial celebration in their hands. This connection transformed a simple 5-cent piece into an object of fascination, keeping public curiosity alive as people wondered what hidden treasures or historical stories lay within their everyday currency. The journey of the 1976 bicentennial Jefferson Nickel begins in the creative mind of Felix de Weldon, one of the most celebrated sculptors of the 20th century, most famously known for creating the colossal U.S. Marine Corps War Memorial, the Iwo Jima Memorial. When tasked with reimagining the visual representation of Thomas Jefferson for the bicentennial era, de Weldon sought to move beyond a simple, static depiction. He wanted to capture the intellectual depth, political genius, and enduring strength of the third U.S. president. By focusing on the sharp contours of Jefferson's profile, de Weldon aimed to create a portrait that reflected the foundational strength of the nation. His artistic direction ensured that every citizen holding the coin would be immediately struck by the historical gravity and classical dignity of the man who penned the Declaration of Independence. In the conceptualization phase, de Weldon carefully weighed how the obverse, front, of the coin would communicate with the American public. The core concept was to create a visual bridge between the 18th century ideals of liberty and the 1970s bicentennial celebration. By placing Thomas Jefferson's profile prominently on the obverse, the design highlighted the ideas of self-governance and individual freedom that defined the American Revolution. The portrait was refined to emphasize Jefferson's sharp, forward-looking gaze, symbolizing the forward momentum of the United States as it entered its third century. This deliberate artistic choice transformed the coin from a mere medium of exchange into a pocket-sized monument dedicated to the Founding Fathers, intended to evoke deep patriotic reflection every time it was handled in daily commerce. Translating de Weldon's monumental sculptural concepts onto a small, metallic coin blank required extreme precision and technical mastery. The process began with detailed, large-scale plaster models that allowed sculptors to perfect the depth and shadow of Jefferson's features. These initial sketches and models were then subjected to rigorous review by the United States Mint's engraving department and advisory committees. The Mint's master engravers had to reduce the design to fit the exact dimensions of a 5-cent piece while ensuring the details remained crisp and durable under high-pressure coining machinery. Once the final adjustments were approved, the master hubs were created, enabling the Philadelphia and Denver facilities to produce millions of these commemorative-era coins for mass distribution across the nation. The creation of the 1976 Jefferson Nickel required a highly precise metallurgical composition consisting of 75% copper and 25% nickel to ensure both durability and a distinct silver-like luster. The raw copper and nickel were sourced from major North American mining operations during the mid-1970s and transported to the United States Mint's specialized smelting facilities. In these high-temperature furnaces, the metals were melted together at extreme temperatures to form a homogeneous and highly resilient alloy. This exacting melting and mixing process was critical. It not only gave the coin its resistance to wear and tear in daily circulation but also provided the distinctive, reflective surface that allowed intricate details to remain visible for decades. By focusing on the durability and the metallurgical integrity of the coin, the production phase ensured that the metal could withstand millions of transactions without losing its structural integrity. Once the alloy was prepared and rolled into long, uniform metal strips, high-speed hydraulic coining presses were used to punch out the blank discs, planchets, and strike the final coin design in 1976. Producing the coin at such a high volume while retaining sharp detail presented a massive technical challenge for the U.S. Mint's engineers. The reverse side of the nickel features Monticello, the historic home of Thomas Jefferson, which contains extremely fine architectural lines, windows, and steps. Using heavy-tonnage hydraulic presses and specially hardened steel dies, the engraving team ensured that every single detail, including the fine lines of the building and the crisp lettering of the motto E pluribus unum, was deeply pressed into the metal. This meticulous attention to the striking process created a highly detailed, visually striking coin that kept citizens fascinated every time they looked at the reverse side in their hands. After the meticulous production process, the 1976 Jefferson Nickels were transported from the United States Mint facilities to the regional branches of the Federal Reserve Bank. From these secure central vaults, a massive logistical operation was launched to distribute the new coins to commercial banks, credit unions, and financial institutions across all 50 states. This wide-scale distribution network ensured that the coins were immediately injected into the economy in time for the bicentennial celebrations. By placing these coins directly into the hands of local banks, the Federal Reserve guaranteed that the newly minted nickels reached the everyday cash reserves of ordinary citizens, making the coin a seamless part of the nation's financial lifeblood during a historic year. In 1976, this 5-cent piece held practical, everyday purchasing power, serving as a fundamental tool for minor daily transactions. Citizens regularly used these nickels to pay for public transit, purchase a cup of coffee, or buy basic convenience store goods. Because the coins were used so frequently in such mundane exchanges, ordinary Americans treated them as standard, unexceptional currency. It was completely unimaginable to the average person using this change that decades later, these heavily circulated, well-handled coins would become sought-after collector's items. Today, discovering one of these well-preserved coins serves as a fascinating reminder of how ordinary everyday items can transform into valuable historical keepsakes. For modern coin collectors and numismatists, the 1976 Jefferson Nickel is far more than just a 5-cent piece. It represents a fascinating chapter of bicentennial history with potentially significant financial value. While millions of these coins were circulated in daily commerce, specific minting errors and exceptional preservation states, known as high-grade mint state or full-step varieties, have transformed ordinary pocket change into highly sought-after rarities. When errors occur during the hydraulic pressing process, such as a double die, off-center strikes, or planchet defects, the rarity of the coin skyrockets, drawing the attention of advanced collectors who are willing to pay remarkable premiums for unique pieces. To understand the true potential of the 1976 Jefferson Nickel, we must look at the specific error categories and their estimated market values. 1976 D Jefferson Nickel, double die obverse/reverse. One of the most sought-after errors occurs when the master die strikes the planchet twice, resulting in overlapping details. When certified in pristine condition, these rare errors can command values ranging between $0.5 million and $1.2 million depending on the sharpness of the strike. Off-center strike errors. If the coin blank is not properly aligned during the minting process, a portion of the design is left blank. Coins with significant off-center strikes can reach an estimated market value of $1.5 million to $2.0 million at specialized auctions. Full-step bicentennial nickels. While not an error, specimens that show the complete, defined steps of the Monticello building on the reverse and remain in perfect, uncirculated condition, MS66 or higher, are valued by elite collectors at up to $0.1 million to $0.3 million. Today, we have uncovered the remarkable journey of the 1976 Jefferson Nickel, tracing its path from the brilliant mind of master sculptor Felix de Weldon to the bustling markets and local stores of the bicentennial era. We explored how a simple 5-cent piece became a tangible keepsake of a defining moment in American history. It is fascinating to realize that the metal alloy, the intricate Monticello engraving, and the everyday transactions of ordinary citizens all played a part in shaping a coin that we carry in our pockets. Every single link in this chain tells a story of an era of immense patriotic pride, economic transformation, and cultural connection, reminding us that there is far more history in our hands than we ever imagined. But what if I told you that your own pocket change could hold the key to life-changing value? In our next video, we are going to explore the hidden errors and rare varieties that turn everyday 1976 nickels into highly coveted numismatic treasures. We will reveal exactly what to look for, how to spot subtle double dies and off-center strikes, and how you can identify these valuable pieces right from your own home. Do not miss out. Make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can uncover the hidden fortune in your collection before anyone else.